So now we've come back to the bowels of the kitchen. This is where the bread's baked. This is where things are cleaned, and we need to select our bread for our black and blue burger. So Chris and I are back here, and we're talking to Tammy. And Tammy bakes all the bread. They're all handmade breads at Van Zandt, so she's a magician. So what kind of bread do you think might work for a black and blue that you have available?
Well, with something with that much flavor, I would probably go with the caramelized onion focaccia.
What do you think, Chris?
That's a good choice, but we also have a good rye that can counteract the harshness of the blackened spice and the gorgonzola that we're going to use.
So maybe the bitterness of the rye can actually kind of knock down some of the sweetness and richness of the compound butter that we make.
It's possible.
You know, that might not be a bad idea. So
it's a light rye. It's very good. It's light rye focaccia.
So it's a rye focaccia. So that's pretty interesting because I don't normally think of the word rye and focaccia in the same little cluster.
Right.
You know, so how did you come up with a rye focaccia? Is that your idea, or did he come up with that?
Well, it's kind of a bit of a collaboration. Chris told me what he wanted, and so it was his idea to do a rye focaccia. But so I took a wheat focaccia that I had made before and altered it with the rye flour and added caraway seeds and sea salt.
It sounds fabulous. So do you mind if we use your rye focaccia for a black and blue?
I love that.
All right, Chris, what do you think?
Sounds good to me.
I think it's fabulous. We're going to do it. Rye focaccia.
Awesome.
All right.
So while the dough was rising, I had brushed it with a little bit of olive oil because you don't want the top to form any sort of crust. And normally when you let bread rise, you'll put a towel or something over it to keep it from getting a crust. So since we're working with such a large dough, I went ahead and brushed it with a little bit of garlic-infused olive oil. So we're going to go ahead and just spread the olive oil that has been on top around a little bit.
Wow. You can see how elastic the dough kind of appears when you're brushing it on too.
Yeah. And we're going to put a layer of sea salt on.
And by the way, sea salt, it's a must in a good kitchen. Must.
And then also we're going to put a layer of caraway seeds on top. It already has a few caraway seeds inside the rye, but I find that it just looks prettier when you have the sea salt and the caraway on top.
And in a restaurant, presentation is a lot more important than it might be at home. So sometimes you have to make decisions just based on look.
And then once we have that on top, what we want to do is kind of gently push the sea salt and the caraway seeds down into the dough a little bit.
Okay.
And so what we do is we also, if you were to feel this, you would feel that the dough is actually quite warm. And that's a sign that your yeast is doing a really nice job.
You washed your hands before you did this, didn't you? Okay,
always.
I just got to make sure.
Wash your hands.
I just have to make sure.
And as you can see, as I'm pushing from the middle outward, to see how we have an air bubble underneath here?
Okay.
We don't want that. So we want to pull that up so the air bubble comes out because we want a nice brown bottom. If you have an air bubble underneath, it's not going to have that brown bottom.
I know.
So.
That is.
And we're ready to go into the oven.
That's pretty. Let's do it. Let's put it in. All right. Off to the oven. All right. Okay, so how long are we going to bake this now?
We're going to bake it for a total of 8 to 10 minutes.
That's not long.
Not long at all. It's in a 400-degree oven. So what we do is we put the timer on for 5 minutes, and once that goes off, we pull it out, rotate it, and then put it back in.
Awesome.
And that's it. That's
awesome.
that easy.
Doesn't sound that hard.
No.
All right.
All right, what we've got here is fresh fried focaccia.
Beautiful.
And when you've got a nice golden top, and then the little divots are actually still got a little bit of oil in them, and that oil will seep through the bread and make it all yummy and moist.
Plus, it gives it a landscape.
It does.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Like we said, it's all about the presentation.
It absolutely is. So let's cut this up and get it ready for our burger.
Okay.
All right. Fantastic. Thanks, Tammy.
You're welcome.